Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. It's our third vlog, and now our next topic is invasion of Scotland in 1934. We will continue our topic of Athelstan, great Imperial King of England. In 1934, Athelstan invaded Scotland. His reasons are clear. Historians gave alternate explanations. The death of half-brother Edwin in 1934 might finally remove the faction in Wessex's opposition in his rule. Gulfrith, the Norse king of Dublin who had briefly North Northumbria, died in 1934. Any resulting insecurity among the Danes would have been given Athelstan an opportunity to stamp his authority as North. An entry in annals of Clonbenois recording his death in 1934. The ruler who was possibly of eldred of Wentworth, suggested another possibility explanation: the dispute between Athelstan and Constantine over control of Wentworth. The Anglo-Saxon Coleraine briefly regarded expedition without explanation, but the 12th century chronicles John of Wester stated that Constantine had broken his treaty with Athelstan. Athelstan set out on his campaign in May 1934, accompanied by four Welsh kings: Hywel Didier of Dwyberth, Edwulf of Gwynedd, Morgan ap Owen of Gwent, and Peter ap Griffith of Brochiang. His routine also included 18 bishops and 13 earls, 6 of whom were Danes from eastern England. By late June or early July, he had reached Chesterley Street when he made generous gift to the tomb of St. Cuthbert, including a stole and maniple organely commissioned by his stepmother. Alfred, as gift of Bishop Preston of Winchester. The invasion was launched by land and sea. According to Simon of Durham, his land force revenged as far as Dundee in north-east Scotland, the further north that any English army had reached since Ecgfrith's disastrous invasion in 1685. While the fleet raided Caithness, then probably part of North's kingdom of Orkney. No battles are recorded during the campaign, and chronicles do not record it overcome by September. However, he was back in the south of England at Rocambam, where Constantine witnessed a charter of sub-regulars, thus acknowledging overlordship. In 1935, a charter was attested by Constantine, Owen of Strexine, Hywel Didier, Edwulf and Morgan ap Owen. At Christmas of the same year, Owen of Strexcycle was more at Athelstan court along with the West King, but Constantine was not. His return to England less than 2 years later would be in very different circumstances. Battle of Brunanburh. In 1934, Olaf Golfrithson succeeded his father Golfrith as the Norse king of Dublin. The alliance between the Norse and the Scots was cemented by marriage of Olaf to Constantine's daughter by August 1937. Olaf had defeated his rivals for control of Viking part of Ireland and promptly lodged the bid for the former Norse kingdom of York. Individually, Olaf and Constantine were too weak to oppose Athelstan, but together they could hope to challenge the dominance of Wessex. In the autumn, they joined with Strathcycle Brutus under Owen to invade England. Medieval campaigning was normally conducted in summer, and Athelstan could hardly have expected an invasion on such a large scale so later in the year. He seems to have been slow to react, and an old Latin poem presented by William of Malmesbury accused him of having languished in sluggish layer. The allies pillaged England territory while Athelstan took his time gathering a west section and Mercian army. However, Michael would precise his cautions, arguing the unlike Heron in 1066. He did not allow himself to be provoked into participate action when he marched north. The Welsh did not join him and they did not fight on either side. The two sides met a battle of Brandenburg, resulting in an overwhelming victory of Athelstan, supported by his young half-brother, the King Edmund. Olaf escaped back to Dublin with the remnant of forces. With Constantine lost a son, the English also suffered heavy losses, including two of Athelstan cousins, sons of Edward of Eldridge, younger brother Ethelbert. The battle was reported the annual of Ulster. A great, lamentable, and horrible battle was brutally fought between Saxons and Norsemen, in which several thousand of Northmen who are uncounted fell, but their king Amlab escaped with a few followers. A large number of Saxons fell in on other side. But Athelstan, king of Saxons, enjoyed a great victory. A generation later, the chronicle Aethwald reported that it was popularly remembered as Great Battle, and it sealed Athelstan's posthumous reputation as victorious because of God. The Anglo-Saxon chronicles abandoned its unusual style in favor of a heroic poem vaunting the great victory. Employing imperial language to present Athelstan as ruler of an empire of Britain, the site of battle is uncertain, however, and other 30 sites have been suggested. The Bromberg on the viral the most favored among historians. Historians disagree over the significant battle of Alex Wolff describes it as a Pyrrhic victory of Athelstan. The campaign seemed to have ended in stalemate. His power appears to have declined, and after the died, Olaf acceded to be king of Northumbria without resistance. Alfred Simon describes it as the greatest battle of Anglo-Saxon history, but he also stated that its consequences beyond Athelstan regions have been overstated in the view of Sarah Hood. On the other hand, it was difficult to exaggerate the battle importance. If the Anglo-Saxons had been defeated, their hegemony over the whole mainland of Britain would have disintegrated. Kingship. Anglo-Saxons king ruled through aldermen who had the highest lay status under the king. In 19th century, Wessex have they each ruled a single shire, but the middle of the 10th they had authority over a much wider area. A change probably introduced by Athelstan to deal with problems of governing by extended realms. One of the aldermen, who was called Athelstan, governed the eastern Danube territory of East Anglia, the largest and wealthiest province of England. He became so powerful that he was later known as Athelstan Half-King. Several of aldermen who witnessed charters have Scandinavian names, and while the localities they came from cannot be identified, they were almost certainly the successors of earls who led Danish armies in the time of Edward the Elder, and were retained by Athelstan as the representatives in local government. Beneath the alderman reveals royal officials who were noble local landowners were in charge of town of real state. The church and state was not separated in early medieval societies, and they were officials worked closely with their the second Bishop, and loyal abbots, who also attended the king's royal councils. So it was our vlog about Athelstan, a great British emperor. So stay with us and subscribe our channel.